A rare 1685 sampler made by a 7th grade grandmother leaves the appraiser in awe. The guest reveals a rare sampler made by her grandmother in 1685. She explains her ancestor was the daughter and granddaughter of Rhode Island governors. The sampler made its way to Indiana through her family over the years. The appraiser notes that while English samplers are common, American samplers from this period are extremely rare. They examine the intricate details, including the alphabet and the signature. Deliverance Clark, 1685. The appraiser explains that the sampler showcases her skills as a seamstress and serves as a preparatory piece for her future role as a housewife. He emphasizes the historical significance of the piece, which survived the journey from Rhode Island to Indiana. The appraiser shares that in 23 years of experience, he has never encountered a 17th century American sampler. He estimates its value as follows.
That it's probably worth $10,000 to $15,000. If I were you and I wanted to insure it, I would probably insure it for $25,000 or more.
The guest is amazed by the appraiser's enthusiasm, noting the sampler's typical design may limit its market appeal. The items were inherited from the husband's great aunt, who passed away at the age of 99. Among the various items she left behind, they discovered these particular soup bowls in a trunk. It was later determined that these bowls are a part of a rare china service made for the White House. Rutherford B. Hayes's The Bowls bear the distinctive marks of Haviland & Company, including a green mark and a red mark with French text, indicating decoration by the Haviland Company, and feature the signature of Theodore R. Davis, along with a patent date from 1880. Additionally, the bowls display the American Eagle Shield, and each piece is adorned with American-themed scenes. These bowls were not used in the White House, but were part of a larger order made through Washington, D.C. While the most common pieces from this service are oil plates and dinner plates, examples from this celebrated service are collected by enthusiasts and displayed in museums. Recent sales have seen similar soup bowls fetching up to $4,800 each. However, the bowls in question have a chip and a rough repair, affecting their value. The estimated worth of a well-preserved bowl would be between $4,000 and $5,000, whereas the damaged one might range from $3,000 to $4,000. A cherished Boston Marathon medal, won by a grandfather who overcame adversity, reveals the legacy of a remarkable runner from Finland. The guest presents a 1921 Boston Marathon medal. It belonged to her grandfather, Otto Laakso. He finished 8th in that marathon, the year her mother was born. Otto immigrated from Finland in 1914 at the age of 20. He joined a running club in New York and excelled in cross-country. Otto had previously placed 3rd and 6th in the Boston Marathon. He was a contender for the 1924 U.S. Olympic team. Tragically, he died from a heart attack while training. The appraiser notes the rarity of the medal. It is made of 10-karat gold by a prestigious maker. The appraiser estimates its value.
We discussed it and we would put an estimate on this for insurance value at $1,500 to $2,000.
Really? Oh, wow.
The guest brought a collection of World War II posters that had been stored in her closet for over 20 years. These posters were originally gifted to her and her husband by a military man. The appraiser reviewed about 70 posters, selecting 4 for closer examination. World War II posters were mass-produced as propaganda to shape public opinion. Among the selected posters, 3 were American and 1 was British. The appraiser pointed out 2 posters signed by notable artists. One was signed by Jean Carlu, a French artist who worked in America during the war, known for his bold and impactful designs.
This was meant to be hung in factories. I mean, it's just a single strong hand with a giant wrench turning a nut. The concept is the more weapons we can produce, the better we'll do in the war.
Another poster was by Norman Rockwell, the famous American artist. It depicted a war-weary machine gunner, emphasizing the need to keep soldiers supplied with ammunition. The third American poster featured a swastika driving a dagger through a Bible, designed to provoke hostility towards the enemy. Lastly, the British poster referenced Winston Churchill's famous speech. Given their historical significance, the value of each poster was decided to be.
At auction, I would estimate this between $500 and $750. The British one, on its own, between $1,500 and $2,000. The Norman Rockwell, also $1,500 to $2,000. The Carlu is, I think, the best of the lot. At auction, I would estimate that between $2,000 and $3,000.
Picture collecting treasures from around the world in the early 1900s. The guest stated that his wife's grandmother and her husband traveled in the early 1900s. They visited various countries in Europe and Asia, staying for 3 to 4 months at a time. They shipped back all the items they collected during their travels. The appraiser examined a pair of Buddhist lions brought by the guest. These lions came in sets, one male and one female. The male lion, on the guest side, held a bull. The female lion, not visible, held a small baby, symbolizing maternal instinct. The male lion represented protective instinct. These statues were placed on either side of a doorway to ward off evil spirits. The color and the glaze of the lions originated in the 17th century during the Kanchi period, but continued later. The appraiser estimated the lions were from the 19th century, around 1880 to 1890, and priced at $6,000 to $9,000.
Very nice, all right.
Imagine a chest with rich Civil War history and a touch of Southern charm. The guest introduced a whiskey chest from her husband's great-grandfather, Richard W. Manson. She learned about it from his grandmother, Sally. Sally said Richard served as a courier for Robert E. Lee's son during the Civil War. Manson was captured but escaped and informed Lee that his son was safe. Impressed, Lee invited Manson to join his staff. Manson later participated in the surrender at Appomattox and stood beside Lee. The guest noted Grant's kindness during this period, showing North-South cooperation. The appraiser mentioned the chest was likely 30 to 50 years old when acquired. It's known as both a whiskey chest and a bottle case, a distinctive Southern piece. The original bottles add interest to the chest. Made of walnut with secondary Southern white pine, it indicates a Virginia origin, likely crafted in Virginia between 1820 and 1850. The appraiser highlighted the fine craftsmanship and dovetails typical of Virginia furniture. The wooden escutcheons were replaced and the lock was changed. The chest's small size and Southern origin give it an estimated auction value of $4,000 to $6,000.
Yeah.
Here's a glimpse into the surprising Roadshow revelations. The Roadshow feedback booth shared highs and lows from participants. One guest enjoyed the Roadshow but had to admit to his wife that his collection wasn't valuable. Another guest's husband took her gun to a show where she spent $800 on an item worth only $100. A participant remembered how her sister, Esther, never let her play with a blue willow china tea set. Now she hopes to enjoy a cup of tea with it. Another guest enjoyed shopping for superhero glasses, which aren't worth much but are fun to collect. A guest showed a foghorn from an antique shop in Port Aransas, which still worked. Another guest had a snare drum brought in from Fort Drum, New York, in 1988, jokingly linked to Ringo Starr. The appraiser estimated a chest was 30 to 50 years old when acquired. The chest was a distinctive Southern piece with original bottles that added interest. It was made of walnut and Southern white pine, likely crafted in Virginia between 1820 and 1850. One guest found her cigarette holder worth $10 to $20 and appreciated the compliment. Another discovered her Wedgwood pottery was worth only $60, but enjoyed meeting people. A participant bought an item for $20 at a rummage sale, which was appraised at $250 to $300. Another guest, thrilled by the Roadshow, had her grandmother's ring appraised and was excited about its value. Amid a rainy Newport Roadshow, Tiffany expert Ali Soka uncovers a rare Tiffany lava vase, setting the stage for high stakes and secretive sale. Ali Soka, a longtime Tiffany expert, discovered her holy grail at a rainy 2017 roadshow in Newport, Rhode Island. Despite the threat of a hurricane, the show continued at its first outdoor venue.
In Newport, we had the threat of a hurricane, and it was our first outdoor venue.
A woman bought a cart from a crate from which she pulled out a piece of glass. Soka's heart raced as she recognized the glass piece she had sought for nearly 20 years. She urgently alerted the producer that she had found the greatest piece of glass on the show. The collection included pastel Tiffany glass made in the 1920s, valued at $2,000 to $3,000. The pastel vase was noted for being art glass rather than utilitarian.
And it came in different colors. Usually when you see pastel glass that Tiffany made, they're mostly utilitarian pieces.
Another piece was a Morning Glory paperweight vase with a retail value of $5,000 to $10,000. This piece was prized for its connection to Tiffany's renowned collection and exhibitions. The centerpiece was a Tiffany lava vase, resembling molten lava and highly coveted. The lava vase, dating around 1915, could sell for $100,000 to $150,000. Soka found the lava vase to be in pristine conditions with no imperfection. The vase's design was inspired by ancient Cypriot glass, a challenging and complex process. 2 years later, in 2019, the owners contacted Soka to sell the pieces. Soka purchased the pastel vase and the crate, but did not buy the Morning Glory vase due to its sentimental value. The lava vase was sold to a private collector, with the transaction kept confidential. Soka confirmed that all parties involved were very pleased with the sale. Dads do more than just keep us safe. It turns out they're also great at discovering antique treasures.
It's actually handed down to me from my father.
In this special episode, we're celebrating all things dad, exploring unique items passed down from father to child, from cherished musical instruments to stunning one-of-a-kind furniture pieces. It seems like dads have a knack for picking timeless treasures. Curious why that is? Even the guests today seem to be wondering the same thing. So let's all take a moment to say thanks, Dad.
Thank you, Dad.
There you go, Dad.
It's time for a brand new special episode. This time we're answering some burning questions that viewers have been asking. Wondering what those questions are? We'll take a deep dive into what happens to some of the most exciting finds from the Roadshow. These discoveries vary from each other, from beautifully crafted, rare furniture
So you can have it for 25.
to top quality timepieces, each with its own fascinating history.
A top-tier timepiece.
This is one incredible watch. I've never held a watch like this in my hand.
What? You're kidding.
And there's plenty more in between. Watch as the guests light up when they hear the value of their treasures.
I saw his knees buckle a little bit.
My God, I'm in a state of shock.
It's the same kind of excitement we hope to see on your faces when all these questions are finally answered in this special episode. These cards are an extraordinary piece of baseball history from 1871. The guest's great-great-grandmother ran a bustling boarding house in Boston. As such, she provided room and board for members of the Boston baseball team, back when professional baseball was just beginning. Several of these players had originally come from the Cincinnati Red Stockings. The Cincinnati Red Stockings are the first salaried team in baseball. These baseball cards were collected by the guest's great-grandfather, who carefully preserved them in a personal album. Though the cards were trimmed to fit the album, they still hold incredible value due to their rarity. The collection also includes a heartfelt letter signed by Harry Wright and A.G. Spalding, legendary names in baseball history.
They must have really loved her. I'm sure she did the cooking, the cleaning for them, because if you read some of these lines here.
Spalding is famous for being the first player to use a fielding glove.
And what did he build from that? A sporting goods empire.
Mm-hmm. With early baseball cards and signatures, this archive is a treasure trove of sports history. At auction, as it is a very rare collection, it could easily fetch over
$1 million.
Are you serious? Oh my.
Gifted to the guest's aunt in 1958, this mobile by Alexander Calder is now being presented. With primary colours and a delicate balance, this piece is constructed from thin wire and anodized or aluminium material. At a cocktail party, Calder was impressed by the aunt's needlepoint pillow featuring his artwork. He compelled to offer her one of his mobiles as a token of admiration. This mobile, a testament to Calder's pioneering creativity, likely originates from the early 1940s.
Alexander Calder essentially invented the art form known as a mobile.
In 1986, a light restoration was carried out to restore the mobile's colours. It beautifully highlights Calder's trademark artistic style. Calder's significance, backstory and documentation add to its value. Valuation for this exceptional piece at auction has recently been estimated at
$400,000 and $600,000.
How much?
$400,000 to $600,000 at auction.
In Pullman, Washington, a lucky collector discovered a box of old comic books once forgotten in a storage unit. Among them were notable issues like The Avengers No. 1 of September 1963 and The Avengers No. 2 of November 1963. These early editions showcase Marvel superheroes that had become cultural icons. Created by the legendary Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, these characters played pivotal roles in shaping the world of comics and beyond. Avengers showcased the legendary heroes of Marvel's superhero pantheon, including iconic figures like Ant-Man. Meanwhile, characters like the Space Phantom add a unique touch to the team's storied legacy.
Ant-Man, I mean, these are some of the most iconic Marvel superheroes.
While far from mint, the condition of these comics still holds significant value. The collective value of the comic books were estimated to be between...
We estimate in this condition, it would probably sell at auction for between $4,000 and $6,000.
No way, you are kidding me.
A father's meticulous baseball memorabilia collection from 1920 was found in the family attic.
What he was most proud of is that every single player that he sent a letter to returned the autograph to him.
Among the highlights of this collection are several notable baseballs, including that of Rabbit Marinville. The 1930 Boston Braves ball features 9 signatures. Another gem is a Philadelphia A-Team signed ball from the late 1920s to early 1930s, showcasing 19 signatures. A rare and exceptional find from the American League pennant win, the crown jewel is the 1933 Washington Senators ball. The autograph collection boasts pristine signatures from Cy Young and a remarkable album page signed by Babe Ruth. Other signatures include Honus Wagner and Tris Speaker, further enhancing the collection's value. In total, the collection's worth is estimated at...
I would insure this group here today for $25,000.
Really? Wow, that's unbelievable. Terrific. Thank you.
Early photographic images showcase a fascinating evolution in visual documentation with unique characteristics and historical significance. Early photographs like daguerreotypes, ambrotypes, and tintypes reveal the origins of photographic technology. This 1830s daguerreotype is a silver-coated copper plate that shifts images from negative to positive.
So the daguerreotype is sometimes referred to as a mirror with a memory.
In contrast, the ambrotype, popular in the 1850s, utilized glass as its photographic medium. The technique resulted in images on glass plates, offering a different aesthetic from the daguerreotype. Popular from the 1850s to the 20th century, the tintype used iron as its photographic base. Each of these photographic types provide unique insights into the technological advancements of their time. Understanding these early methods aids in dating family photos and highlights the remarkable evolution of photography. A vibrant watercolor titled Cartier Saint-Hilaire, depicting a Parisian scene, is a cherished family heirloom. Created by the artist Laurice M. Jones in 1947, this vibrant work reflects the color and style for which she was known. Signed and dated by the artist, the painting was gifted to the family as a wedding present in 1977, marking a cherished occasion. Laurice Jones, born in 1905, faced significant racial and gender barriers throughout her career.
Oftentimes in Boston, she had to have a white friend submit the painting, and she would go to the exhibit to see people talking about her painting.
Despite these challenges, she pursued her passion for art with determination. Despite facing racial discrimination, she persisted in making her mark as an artist. Jones's 1937 visit to Paris, where racial issues were less prominent, profoundly influenced her work. Symbolizing her artistic journey and resilience, the painting is inscribed on the back with a 1947 value of...
I would say this painting is probably worth around $25,000 retail. So I would insure it for that amount if I were you.
Good.
Place it.
Thank you. Lois will be pleased.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
A uniquely crafted chair, meticulously carved, serves as a potent political commentary on the 2009 scandal. This artistic piece commemorates 30 years in business, capturing the essence of a controversial political episode. Detailed carvings on the chair highlight the infamous Duck House expense scandal involving MPs. The scandal became a symbol of the excesses and misconduct that captured public attention at the time. Inspired by the media frenzy and Daily Telegraph coverage, the chair is a personal and political statement. Intricately carved details include a representation of the duck house, intended to provoke thought. This element aims to elicit strong reactions from viewers.
I think Paul Atterbury is probably the man who needs to look at it.
Yeah.
Our expert Paul Atterbury.
This piece reflects the artist's skill in turning contemporary political issues into compelling art. A striking box made from rock crystal, a member of the Quartz family, showcases exceptional craftsmanship. Originally bought online for £32 as a glass box, it revealed its true value after polishing.
£32? I just can't believe, I can't believe that.
After polishing, when the box's true beauty emerged, revealing exquisite silver details and vibrant enamel work on the surface. Dating from 1860 to 1870, the box exemplifies the neo-Renaissance style prominent in Vienna, Austria. It bears a Viennese mark, linking it to a group of skilled goldsmiths and enamelers from the era. Hermann Ratzendorfer, a leading enamelist in Vienna at the time, was likely involved in its creation. This box is made from rock crystal, with natural inclusions visible inside, distinguishing it from mere glass. At auction, it is estimated to be worth between
£4,000 and £6,000.
A beautifully crafted enamel cigar box was found while clearing an MG Motors engineer's house. Initially green and tarnished, the box was polished by a car enthusiast in the family. This revealed a vivid scene featuring a charming early tricycle and a girl wearing a hat, executed with meticulous detail. What sets this piece apart is its quality. Unlike modern fakes, this enamel's intricate design and vibrant palette were achieved through multiple firings at different temperatures. The craftsmanship suggests it's an authentic, rare, early 20th century piece.
If you happen to own one of those cars, you would want this box.
A small, intriguing mark on the box points to its origins in Austria-Hungary, adding to its historical value. With all these elements in mind, it is estimated that the cigar box could be worth at least...
I would be very surprised to see it selling for less than £10,000.
Well, I never thought I would look shocked, but I'm shocked.
A remarkable dog collar, thought to belong to Lord Byron's favourite Newfoundland, Bosom, reveals a fascinating piece of history. Bosom, who tragically died of rabies in 1808, was known for his spirited encounters with Byron's tame bear. These legendary bouts took place at Newstead Abbey. Showing signs of wear and denting likely from these legendary fights, the collar reflects its storied past. While sourcing items for a cafe at Newstead Abbey, a guest found the second collar in an antique shop 40 years ago. It is believed to be from the same period as a large collar associated with Byron's dogs. Interestingly, it was stamped by W.C. Alice, a maker from Mansfield.
Simply because of the fantastic provenance, it's here at Newstead, it's in the collection. So it's, that really is true value.
This smaller collar, if proven to be from Byron's collection, would be valued around...
Prove that it was ever on one of Lord Byron's dogs, and we're talking 2,000.
Okay, I would approve that.
Yeah.
Today's display features a beautiful brooch that is a sight to behold. It was passed down to the guests from their grandmother, who received it from her boyfriend.
Did she marry the boyfriend?
No, unfortunately she didn't. I really don't even know what his name was. I wish I would have known that, but...
Poor guy.
To begin with, the green gemstones on this turtle-shaped brooch are not emeralds, but rather demantoids, a type of green garnet. The demantoids have a rich history behind them.
It was the first of the green garnets discovered in Russia. The stones are Russian.
This brooch dates back to approximately 1890, when it was crafted in England. A delicate catch was added to the gold frame, allowing the piece to be worn as a pendant, showcasing the green garnets and diamonds. Ruby eyes, though small, make a big impact and add to the brooch's appeal.
And it's probably either 15 or 18 carat.
What's truly remarkable is that it's a turtle-shaped piece that doubles as both a brooch and pendant, and today its value would be...
As a retail value today, you're talking about $12,000, $15,000, and possibly even $18,000. I mean, it's really quite a wonderful thing and a very saleable thing.
I plan on continuing the history and giving it to my granddaughter and hoping she will do the same with her granddaughter.
Good.
This poignant manuscript, penned by Oscar Wilde, overflows with the author's heartfelt emotions shaped by his life's triumphs and tribulations. A former college employer showed her gratitude for the guest's help with her show dogs by giving him this precious manuscript.
She approached me one day and she said, "I know you're an English major, you'd like this," and she handed it to me.
The poem was written for Christian, the woman's father-in-law, who worked as a newspaper reporter, notably covering the Dreyfus trial in Paris, where he may have encountered Oscar Wilde.
So it's inscribed at the bottom here for Christian, and as we understand it was Christian Gauss who received the poem, and he became a fairly important professor and dean of the college at Princeton, widely renowned person, but as you say,
in the glittering salons of Victoria, London, a brilliant star emerged, shining brightly with wit, charm, and artistic genius. Oscar Wilde, the Irish poet, playwright and author, captivated the hearts of society's elites with his provocative ideas, razor-sharp humour, and captivating presence. Born into a family of intellectuals, Wilde's early life was marked by tragedy, including the loss of his sister and the imprisonment of his father. Yet he rose above adversity, harnessing his intellect and creativity to become one of the most celebrated figures of his time. The poem's title, Ideal Love, a sonnet, didn't match any recorded works by Oscar Wilde, suggesting it might have been an unpublished piece.
I discovered the text of the poem is actually quite a well-known and very famous poem by Wilde called The New Remorse, which he wrote in 1891 for his lover, Lord Alfred Douglas.
However, beneath the glittering facade, Wilde struggled with his own desires and identity. His love affair with Lord Alfred Douglas, known as Bosie, would ultimately prove his undoing. The tumultuous relationship led to a sensational trial, where Wilde's own words were used against him. On November 30th, 1900, Oscar Wilde died, his brilliance extinguished by the very society he had once dazzled.
And we know very little about his time when he was in Paris, and this is essentially his last year alive. He died in 1900 at the L'Hôtel in Paris.
Oscar Wilde's story remains a testament to the transformative power of art, the enduring allure of beauty, and the unbreakable human spirit. Given this manuscript's poem's remarkable backstory, outstanding ownership history, and pristine condition, one would estimate its worth to be.
I would put an auction estimate conservatively of $10,000 to $15,000 today.
Great.
On this exclusive episode of Owner's Interview, we spotlight an extraordinary watch of unparalleled beauty. Its mysterious past remained hidden to the owners until a professional evaluation uncovered its remarkable provenance. Dating back to the late 18th century, between 1790 and 1810, this timepiece's age astonished its owners.
I don't think either of us thought it was that old.
Astoundingly, the repeater mechanism springs to life when the button is pressed, a testament to its remarkable craftsmanship. Charles Louis Duquesnoy, a renowned Swiss watchmaker, is credited with creating this stunning masterpiece. Born into a family of modest means, Duquesnoy's fascination with clockwork mechanisms began as a child. He spent hours mesmerized by the ticking heartbeat of his father's pocket watch. Duquesnoy's creations were testaments of his unwavering dedication. Each timepiece, adorned with delicate engravings and subtle ornamentation, reflected his relentless pursuit of perfection. As its fame spread, so did his influence. Duquesnoy's apprentices went on to become master watchmakers in their own right, carrying his legacy across the continent. Though he never sought fame, his name became synonymous with excellence in Swiss watchmaking. In the world of horology, Duquesnoy's legacy endures, a reminder that, even in the silence of time, beauty and precision can forever resound. Overjoyed by the findings, the owners felt honored to steward such an extraordinary piece of watchmaking history.
Now it won't sit in the dresser drawer. We ought to display it. We'll hand it down.
Oh, yeah.
One can't help but notice the unusually large size of the banner on display, which the guest acquired many years ago.
Well, I worked for the Cardinals in 1970 before I went into the military, and we were cleaning out an area for the new football field to come in. So we were cleaning out underneath the stadium, and there were some boxes sitting there, and we asked them what to do with them. They said, "We don't care what you do with them, just get rid of them."
This banner was made to celebrate the St. Louis Cardinals World Championship in 1964. It prominently displays St. Louis Cardinals and 1964 to mark the championship year. Also featured on the banner is the iconic Cardinals logo, which includes a red cardinal perched on a bat. We can also see the red and white colours on the banner, which reflect the team's colours. The St. Louis Cardinals are an American professional baseball team based in St. Louis. As one of the oldest and most successful professional baseball clubs, the Cardinals have won 11 World Series championships, the most of any National League team, and second in MLB history, only to the New York Yankees. The banner's design is often simple yet bold, emphasizing the team's victory.
So this is a phenomenally exciting and really historically important World Series.
Even after many years, the banner has been perfectly preserved. As a piece of sports memorabilia, it is highly sought after and would be issued at,
I would say, probably $12,000 for insurance value.
That's great.
So that was a pretty good box lot.
Yes, it was.
A collection of signed first edition books by Langston Hughes is on display. James Mercer Langston Hughes was an American poet, social activist, novelist, playwright, and columnist from Joplin, Missouri.
He and Wallace Thurman from Utah co-founded FIRE, which was the one-issue literary magazine that's what helped spark the Harlem Renaissance.
The first book is open to display Langston Hughes' autograph, which is signed in a more general fashion, without any personal dedication. This is a first edition copy of Langston Hughes' The Big C. However, the book is missing its dust jacket, slightly reducing its overall value.
I have it.
You have the dust jacket?
Yes, that one is very good. This one was like a little more tattered.
The second book, Simple Takes a Wife, not only bears the author's signature, but also a personal inscription. This inscription is dedicated to a gentleman named Gene Shaw, a close friend of Hughes. The last book, I Wonder as I Wonder, is likely the most famous among the titles bought by the guest. It is also a signed first edition with a dust jacket and is similarly dedicated to Gene Shaw.
My second life, 7 more to come, like a cat. Sincerely, Langston Hughes.
Langston Hughes' The Big C was first published in 1940 as a first edition. The first edition of Simple Takes a Wife came out in 1953. Finally, I Wonder as I Wonder was first published in 1956. Due to Hughes' literary significance, these signed editions are expected to fetch a considerable price at auction.
$8,000 to $10,000.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's amazing.
The appraiser doesn't seem overly surprised, but when these items were brought in, he was genuinely taken aback. This archive belonged to Madeleine, a distinguished member of the French Resistance. Madeleine played a vital role in helping a downed British pilot escape from France and return safely to England. Captured on October 31st, 1942, she spent 6 grueling months imprisoned at the infamous Pithiviers internment camp just outside Paris. Her survival can be attributed to her prominent military family in France, which likely made her a known figure to the Germans.
Then she was taken to Mauthausen, the concentration camp, and later was taken to Ravensbrück, and that is the camp that she was liberated from.
Among the items is a medal presented to her by Charles Deal after the war, now here as a testament to his recognition. We also have 2 handcrafted items, though the identity of their creator remains unknown.
But they did work making socks for the German soldiers, of course, and Madeleine took great pride in making lousy socks.
Items from concentration camps are highly sought after by collectors and museums due to their historical significance. Among these is a doll made by Madeleine using material from the camp. However, it's important to note that while these items are valuable, there are counterfeit versions in circulation. Nevertheless, the provenance of this collection, including the medals and documents, suggests that the estimated value of these items is considerable at...
I would estimate a group like this being worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $7,000 to $10,000.
This is a textbook from Madam C.J. Walker's School of Beauty Culture.
I don't really know a whole lot about the book. I believe it's the first African-American beauty book.
At first glance, it might appear to be just another textbook, and in the antiquarian book trade, textbooks are often not given much consideration. However, this particular book stands out because it is an early work on hair products, hair care, and styling specifically for African American women. Upon flipping over the first page, one finds the first edition of Madam C.J. Walker's Beauty Manual. Furthermore, the book is undated and its origin seems somewhat unclear. Indeed, it is the first book ever published on hairstyling and fashion tailored for African American women, which is quite remarkable. There is also a page at the back showcasing a range of hair care products featuring a substantial line of various items. What makes this book even more interesting is that Madam Walker is actually Sarah Breedlove. Madam C.J. Walker, Sarah Breedlove, was an American entrepreneur, philanthropist, political and social activist.
And the company that bears her name is still in business to this day, making hair and facial products for African American women.
Who was recorded as the first female self-made millionaire in America by the Guinness Book of World Records. Although the book is in very good condition, it may not be considered a fine copy. Given today's market and the book's rarity, it could sell at auction for...
This book would sell for $10,000 plus.
$10,000? Are you serious?
I am serious.
This katana was a traditional sword used by the samurai in feudal Japan. Katanas symbolize samurai honor with their sharpness and elegance.
Blade is the important thing in this. The mounts also make it, but the blade is 500 years old, and you look at the way it's been folded.
Made during the Muromachi period, the sword reflects peak samurai craftsmanship. The blade's curve and edge come from layered steel, forging for strength and flexibility. The tsuka handle is wrapped in race skin and silk for grip and style. The saya scabbard is lacquered to protect the blade and enhance its look. Katana blades feature May engravings for historical details. Its history and craftsmanship impressed the bidder.
At £3,000.
We did it. We did it. How about that? What a great result.
His uncle gifted him the Rolex in 1975, bought at Tiffany's in New York. Rolex's GMT Master was designed for pilots to show multiple time zones. Produced with Tiffany & Co., this model's branding boosts its vintage appeal. The watch has a black 24-hour bezel, a luminous dial, and patinated markers. Here's a fascinating detail about your early GMT Master.
Your watch is the GMT Master, as you've mentioned. It's one of the earlier versions. I looked at the serial number of the watch. It was made around 1963, 1964.
The owner never removed the watch from his wrist and used it every day. The steel oyster case and bracelet showcase Rolex's precision and durability. The 1963 GMT Master blends pioneering function with elegance. Its blend of innovation and sophistication impressed the appraiser, who valued the item.
Today, in the retail market, your watch is worth $50,000.
Oh, good grief. That is absolutely stunning to me.
Joe C. Fortenberry, captain and top scorer, led the 1936 Olympic basketball team to a 19-8 win over Canada. Fortenberry played for the US in the first Olympic basketball tournament in 1936. Fortenberry's US team won gold, establishing their basketball legacy.
This is by far the most important US gold medal that we've seen come in at the sports table at Antiques Roadshow.
As a center, Fortenberry popularized the modern slam dunk, showcasing his athleticism. In the rain-soaked 1936 final on a clay court, the US beat Canada 19-8. The medal and vintage photos symbolize basketball's Olympic debut. Fortenberry's role in this win is key to US basketball's global dominance. Fortenberry's historic impact was reflected in the appraiser valuing the item.
I would put a value of this at auction of $100,000 to $150,000.
Wow. Thank you. That is incredible.
And for insurance, I would easily put a value on it of $175,000.
Wow.
She had a partial Shakespeare First Folio for 15 years, a family heirloom from her great-grandfather. The spine of the rescued portion of the Brick Hill Shakespeare, 1623, a partial Shakespeare First Folio. The 1623 First Folio collected 36 of Shakespeare's plays, some first printed. One of the most iconic books ever printed.
If you talked about an iconic book in the English language, the First Folio of Shakespeare is one of them. Probably next to the Bible, Shakespeare is the most commonly printed book in the English language.
About 750 copies were printed. Around 235 survive today. One back page ends Macbeth, and the rebinding is not original. This edition holds significant historical and literary value as a surviving piece of the 1623 folio. Every whisper of history held value. The appraiser valued the item.
It's not going to make much difference. It might be 35 to 40 or 45. It's not going to make a big difference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In this episode, Peter Sheminski stands inside an enormous, ornate ring, slowly whirling around him in a grand hall. The ring's smooth, continuous motion contrasts with his calm, composed stance at its center. As it spins, the light catches on the ring's intricate details, illuminating its engravings and delicate curves. The camera circles around, capturing both the vast, elegant hall and Peter within the spinning ring, creating a dreamlike atmosphere. The silence in the video adds to the surreal feeling, with no sounds other than the faint hum of the ring's movement. Peter's stillness amidst the constant rotation suggests a meditative or contemplative state. The gentle whirling of the ring gives viewers a chance to appreciate its craftsmanship from every angle. Occasionally, the camera zooms in on the ring's shimmering surface, emphasizing its beauty and craftsmanship. It ends with the ring still in motion, leaving Peter serene and centered within its rhythmic movement. This is a Joe DiMaggio autographed bat, which the guest acquired through an auction in New Jersey in 1967. DiMaggio is widely considered one of the greatest baseball players who played 13 seasons with the New York Yankees from 1936 to 1951. The bat was described as game-used, authenticated, and autographed DiMaggio. The bat was made by Louisville Slugger between 1946 and 1948 and showed signs of heavy use. DiMaggio's personal method involved dipping the bat in olive oil, adding rosin, and burning it under a flame before sanding it smooth, a technique he referred to as preparing his bread and butter bat. The bat was made of ash, measured 35.75 inches, and weighed 35.7 ounces. It bore the serial number D29 on the knob, a code unique to DiMaggio's game-used bats. In 1994, the guest had the opportunity to meet DiMaggio in San Jose, where DiMaggio confirmed the bat's unique preparation process. Due to its high demand and rarity, the bat was valued at...
I would place a value at auction of $80,000 to $100,000.
In the late 19th century, amidst the strict social norms and limited creative outlets for women, a revolutionary art form emerged: the crazy quilt. Born from the constraints of traditional quilting, these vibrant, intricate masterpieces defied convention and became a symbol of female ingenuity. This exquisite crazy quilt has been passed down through the family, originating from the guest's great-aunt.
She was born in 1870, and we think she died in her 20s, so the quilt was probably made in the 1890s.
Crazy quilts were more than just decorative pieces. They were declarations of independence, showcasing the skill and artistry of their makers. Women from all walks of life, from high society matrons to humble homemakers, found solace in the creative freedom of crazy quilting.
And I think every Victorian lady either made one or received one. There are zillions of them.
In terms of craftsmanship and design, this quilt is arguably one of the finest examples of its kind.
This calla lily is tufted like a piece of English needlework in the 17th century.
Remarkably, the embroidered birds on this piece possess a striking three-dimensional quality. Today, crazy quilts remain a powerful symbol of female creativity, a testament to the enduring legacy of females who dared to challenge convention. These quilts continue to inspire artists, quilters, and historians, reminding us that even in the most restrictive times, art can flourish. Considering its rarity and outstanding condition, this crazy quilt's worth is approximately...
We think this one could be worth between $3,000 and $5,000.
Oh, great. Wow. My father said if he ever went on the Antique Roadshow that he would bring this quilt.
2 exceptional vintage pottery pieces take center stage, exemplifying craftsmanship at its finest. Originally a wedding gift to a Romanian couple, these pottery pieces changed hands when the communist regime displaced the owners, who then gifted them to the guest's wife's grandmother.
And she gave this to my wife's grandmother, who then gave it to my wife's mom. And when they came to America in 1990, she brought it with her.
The guest family's innocence about the bowl's value led to its practical, if unglamorous, use as a key holder. These outstanding pottery pieces boast an illustrious heritage, having been created by Jaunet, a legendary pottery manufacturer. In the heart of Hungary, where the Danube River flows and the sun dips in the rolling hills, a legacy of artistry and innovation was born. Ignác Jaunet, a visionary entrepreneur, founded the Jaunet Ceramics Company in 1853, sparking a century-long journey of creativity and excellence. With a passion for clay and fire, Jaunet's skilled artisans crafted masterpieces that would adorn European royal courts, elegant salons, and humble homes.
He worked very hard, Mr. Zolny, Vilmos, worked very hard in developing many different looks and many different glazes.
Named after the Greek goddess of dawn, Eos, this iridescent glaze is aptly called Eosin.
It's a reduction glaze, there's a whole chemistry that goes around it, and it's hard to do.
The design bears a striking resemblance to Tiffany's iconic style.
And this whole finish, this whole look of Eosin glaze was really an homage, in a way, to what Tiffany was doing. They were trying to make ceramics look like glass.
Every aspect of this bowl, including its interior, showcases exceptional artistry.
The shape of flowers in here, this crescent, is a little Ottoman Turkish. If I can show you the marks here. This is an 1890s mark.
This vase, crafted slightly later than the bowl, features a charming bird on its elegant surface.
This is a very rare one, by the way. Not the shape so much, but the decoration. And you have pine trees, which look very either Chinese or Japanese.
Notably, this vase bears a distinct mark, the raised 5 churches medallion, indicating a production date of around 1900. With no damage or imperfections, the bowl's auction worth is estimated at...
So, at auction today, probably $12,000 to $16,000. So no keys here?
No.
Unless you put a liner.
No, there's no keys.
Okay.
Despite evident signs of restoration, the vase is expected to fetch an auction value of...
In this condition, still at auction, most likely $10,000 to $15,000. Perfect condition, maybe $20,000.
Okay.
Because it is very large and super rare.
Okay. Wow. Impressed and shocked. That's awesome. Thank you.
The guest inherited this painting from his Aunt Marge, who had cancer. Aunt Marge had known the artist, Olin Travis, since the 1940s. The painting, depicting an Ozark hilltop, held personal significance for Travis, as he had fallen in love with someone from the Ozarks during a special time in his life. On the back of the painting, Ozark Hilltop was written too. The painting was an oil piece on masonite, a material that became popular among artists in the 1930s. The smooth side of masonite was used for this work, which dated to 1947. It was signed by Olin Travis in the lower left corner, and a marking that initially puzzled the guest turned out to be the artist's initials, OT. The appraiser noted that the painting had the trifecta of attributes: perfect provenance, excellent condition in its original frame, and a strong subject matter for the artist. While most of Olin Travis's market is in Dallas, Texas, due to his local recognition, the Arkansas subject matter of this painting added unique value. Leaving the guest visibly stunned, the painting, with its great impasto technique, was appraised for...
And the value is about $10,000 for insurance purposes.
I did not expect that. Whoa.
These are two vintage suits bought by the guest, which she acquired in San Francisco. Looking at these very well, you will see a significant difference between the two suits. The first one is likely from the late 1950s and is a Chanel couture piece, meaning it was custom made. Additionally, this piece comes with a matching blouse and the lining complements it perfectly. This beautiful piece showcases all the meticulous handwork and finishing expected of couture. In contrast, the second suit is likely from the 1960s and is a Chanel boutique piece.
And it's the Chanel boutique piece, so it was ready to wear.
What is fascinating about this suit is that it is labelled a size 14, which would be considered a size 8 or 10 by today's standards. Both suits represent the timeless elegance of Chanel, reflecting different eras of fashion history. Chanel is a highly desirable label in the retail market, known for its quality and prestige. However, because this piece is custom made and a Chanel boutique item, its retail value would be substantial.
The retail value is probably about $1,800.
Due to the significance of the Chanel couture piece, it would likely fetch a remarkable price at auction.
Probably between $3,500 and $4,500 on the retail market.
Maybe $100 a piece.
No,
I paid $100 for all of them.
You did very well.
I'm just shocked.
A collection of NASA memorabilia, previously owned by the guest's father, has been brought in.
Left for us. He helped invent the Apollo space helmet, so he worked at NASA's Houston Center in the 60s.
The guest's father was Dr. Robert Jones. Robert T. Jones was an American aerodynamicist and aeronautical engineer for NACA and later NASA. He was known at NASA as one of the premier aeronautical engineers of the 20th century. Among the memorabilia is a helmet that he and other engineers contested and collaborated on designing. The inspiration behind this helmet design was Buck Roger, a science fiction adventure hero and feature comic strip.
He felt as though you should be able to see all the way around. He wanted it to be a bubble.
Yeah, the bubble helmet or the pressure bubble, we've heard it called also.
Additionally, there is a photo showing Dr. Jones in a suit used for testing its functionality. The collection also includes a signed photo of the original Mercury 7 astronauts. Another notable item is a photo of Ed White. Edward Higgins White was an American aeronautical engineer, United States Air Force officer, test pilot, and NASA astronaut. If this historical picture of the 7 astronauts were to be auctioned, it would be valued at a significant amount.
Between $5,000 and $6,000.
Due to its historical importance, the Ed White picture could fetch a considerable sum.
And at auction, we put a price of between $1,000 and $1,500.
Wow.
However, the collection features photos documenting the helmet's development and its prototypes. Giving their historical significance, these items are estimated to be valued at...
At auction, we would estimate these between $1,000 and $2,000.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.